Let's get one thing straight right from the start. If your bank account is constantly hovering near zero, it's probably not because you have bad luck. It's not because the universe is against you. And it's not because your boss doesn't pay you enough. The real reason most people stay broke is because of their mindset. It's the blueprint they follow for thinking about earning, spending money. It's a set of beliefs and habits that were likely passed down to them, and without even realizing it, they are playing a game that's rigged for them to lose. The good news is that you can change the blueprint. You can rewrite the rules. Think about it like this. If you were trying to build a house with a flawed blueprint, it wouldn't matter how hard you worked. You could have the best materials and the most skilled construction crew, but the foundation would be unstable. The walls would be crooked. The roof would leak. Your financial life works the exact same way. If your underlying beliefs about money are flawed, you will constantly be making decisions that sabotage your own success. You might get a raise, but the money will disappear. So many people are trapped by money myths they believe are absolute truths. One of the biggest is the idea that you need money to make money. People hear this and immediately give up. They think that because they aren't starting with a huge pile of cash, they have no chance. This is completely wrong. You don't need money. You need a plan. You need the discipline to follow it. Even saving a tiny amount can grow into a massive sum over time. $20 a week, $50 a week. Compound interest makes small starts huge. The start is always the hardest part, but it's also the most important. Another huge myth is that saving money means you can't have any fun. People imagine a life of misery. Instant noodles, never leaving the house. The goal isn't deprivation. The goal is intentional spending. Know what truly brings you joy. Spot mindless temporary purchases. You can still go out with friends. You can buy things you love, plan for them, and cut back on what you don't care about. Then there's the dangerous belief in get-rich-quick schemes. The guy in front of a rented Lamborghini, promising thousands a day with a secret system. Hard truth, there are no shortcuts. Building real wealth is slow and often boring. Your brain can be your own worst enemy when it comes to money. We are all wired with psychological biases that push us to make terrible financial decisions without us even realizing it. One of the biggest culprits is the desire for instant gratification. Our brains are programmed to value a small reward right now much more than a larger reward in the future. This is why it feels so good to buy that new gadget or expensive coffee today, even if we know that same money could grow into a fortune if we invested it for retirement. We are fighting against thousands of years of evolution that taught us to prioritize immediate survival. This leads directly into another trap: emotional spending. Have you ever had a bad day at work and decided to treat yourself by going on a shopping spree? That's emotional spending. You're not buying something because you need it, you're buying it to get a quick hit of dopamine to make yourself feel better. The happiness is temporary, but the bill is very real. This creates a dangerous cycle where stress leads to spending, which leads to financial stress, which leads to more spending. We also have a tendency to compare ourselves to others, which is a recipe for financial disaster. This is often called keeping up with the Joneses. Social media has put it on steroids, but you're only seeing their highlight reel, not their credit card statements or the crushing debt they might be in. FOMO drives people to jump on speculative investments like a hot stock or a new crypto coin after it has already skyrocketed. They throw their money in at the peak, right before the inevitable crash. A sound financial plan isn't about chasing trends, it's about following a disciplined, long-term approach that ignores the noise and the hype. Let's talk about the simple, everyday mistakes that drain your bank account without you even noticing. The biggest one is not having a budget. A budget is not a financial prison, it is a roadmap. Not having one is like trying to drive across the country without a map or GPS. You'll just wander around aimlessly, waste a lot of gas, and probably never reach your destination. People avoid budgeting because they think it's complicated or they are afraid of what they'll find. But all it takes is sitting down for an hour to see where your money is actually going. Another massive mistake is what I call death by 1,000 cuts. $5 coffee every morning? That's over $1,800 a year. Multiple streaming subscriptions you don't even use? That could be hundreds of dollars. The daily lunch you buy because you didn't pack one? That's thousands. Individually, none of these purchases seem like a big deal, but collectively, they are a huge drain on your finances. This is money that could be paying off debt, building an emergency fund, or being invested for your future. Relying on credit cards for everyday expenses, groceries, gas, coffee, is a classic mistake. People swipe the card telling themselves they'll pay it off at month end, but then, life happens. Suddenly they can't pay the full balance. Now they're carrying a balance on a card with 20% or higher interest, a debt spiral that can take years to escape. Credit cards should be a tool for convenience, not a substitute for income. Finally, a huge mistake is not automating your savings. The moment your paycheck hits your account, a portion should auto-transfer to savings. Alright, enough about the problems. Let's talk about the solutions. Escaping the broke cycle is simpler than you think. Here's the roadmap. The first practical step is to track your spending. Create a simple budget. You can use an app, a spreadsheet, or just pen and paper. For 1 month, write down every single dollar you spend. You will be shocked at where your money is going. Once you know that, create a basic plan. Allocate for needs, wants, and savings. Housing, food, utilities. Allocate money for your wants and, most importantly, savings. This is your financial roadmap. Next, build a small emergency fund. This is non-negotiable. Your initial goal, save $1,000 as quickly as possible. This money is not for investing or a vacation, it's for true emergencies like a car breakdown or medical bill. Sell things you don't need, pick up a side hustle. Do whatever it takes to get that first $1,000 into a separate savings account. After that, build it up to 3 to 6 months of essential living expenses. Once your starter fund is in place, destroy high-interest debt. That means credit cards, personal loans, and any debt with interest over about 6 or 7%. List your debts from highest interest to lowest. Make minimum payments on all. Throw every extra dollar at the highest rate debt. This is the avalanche method. Fastest and cheapest way out. When debt is managed, start investing consistently in low-cost index funds or ETFs. Open a Roth IRA and set automatic contributions. Even $50/month starts you on the path. Let's wrap this up. The journey from being broke to being financially secure is not a sprint, it's a marathon. It's not going to happen overnight. There will be moments when you feel like you aren't making progress. There will be temptations to fall back into old habits. But you have to remember that every small positive decision you make is a vote for the future you want to create. Every dollar you save instead of spend, every debt payment you make, every investment you contribute to, it's all laying another brick in the foundation of your financial freedom. The feeling of being in control of your money is 1,000 times better than the temporary pleasure of any purchase. Imagine the peace of mind that comes from knowing you can handle an unexpected emergency without going into debt. Imagine the freedom of not being a slave to a paycheck because you have investments working for you around the clock. This isn't some fantasy reserved for the lucky few, it is an achievable reality for anyone who is willing to change their mindset and follow a simple, proven plan with relentless consistency. Don't let your past mistakes define your future. It doesn't matter if you've made poor financial decisions up until today, today is a new day. Today, August 27th, 2025, can be the day you decide to take control, calculate your net worth, track your spending for one day. Read a chapter of a personal finance book, make one small, positive change. So I'm asking you to take action. Don't just read this and move on, start right now. Open a new tab and look up how to create a budget. Download a spending tracker. Make a list of your debts. The only thing standing between you and the financial life you want is a series of small steps. The power is in your hands. Your future self is counting on the decisions you make today. Go out there and start building the life you deserve. The work starts now. Budget, emergency fund, destroy high-interest debt, invest consistently. Small daily actions add up, the peace of mind is worth it. Decide today to change your blueprint. Open a budgeting app, track one day, list your debts. Take the first step. You can do this. If this helped, subscribe for more financial clarity and check the playlist on budgeting and investing. Links and resources are in the description. Start today. Your future self will thank you.